Hello NBA fans, every day we have news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan and I'm counting on you to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Luka Doncic is the Lakers' new star and the roster is being built around him. But it's worth remembering that if he turns down a contract extension in August 2025, he could be a free agent in 2026. And there are rumors that Luka Doncic won't extend his contract so he can earn more money next year. And the worst part of all this is that rival Los Angeles Clippers want to take the star away from the Lakers. If Luka Doncic turns down a contract extension, he could leave the Lakers and go play for the Clippers. This deal would ruin the Lakers, who plan to have Luka Doncic for many years. The 2026 offseason is a ways away, but that'll never prevent speculation from occurring in the NBA realm. Los Angeles Lakers superstar Luka Doncic has a career-altering contract decision to make this summer. If the 6'6" guard inks an extension with the franchise, 4-year, $229 million, or 3-year, $165 million, it'll be safe to say he'll compete with Los Angeles for the long haul. If Doncic decides not to commit to the Lakers long-term, AP Hoops believes it could open up the door for the Los Angeles Clippers to steal him from the Lakers during the 2026 free agency period, potentially helping him bolster his title chances. The Los Angeles Clippers will now be able to match the Los Angeles Lakers' best offer for Luka Doncic. Next summer, AP Hoops wrote on X/Twitter in response to a tweet stating the franchise has $50 to $60 million in 2026 cap space. I do expect Luka Doncic to sign the extension this August. Just wanted to point out that the Clippers do have the flexibility now to potentially steal one of the Lakers' 3 best players through free agency next summer: Doncic, LeBron James, or Austin Reaves. Doncic struggled to get acclimated to JJ Redick's system after the early February blockbuster trade involving the Lakers, Dallas Mavericks, and Utah Jazz. The 26-year-old netted 14, 16, and 14 points, respectively, in his first 3 outings with the franchise. However, Doncic exploded for 32 points against the Denver Nuggets in the following contest and never looked back. In 28 regular season games with Los Angeles, Doncic averaged 28.2 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 7.5 assists as a primary playmaker. With the Minnesota Timberwolves dominating the Lakers in the opening round of the playoffs, the organization recognized that adjustments needed to be made in the offseason. Selling the franchise to Mark Walter, the Los Angeles Dodgers' flourishing 65-year-old owner, was step number 1, as it reassured Doncic that the Lakers are committed to building a winning culture around him. Signing DeAndre Ayton was step number 2, considering it provided the future Hall of Famer with an above-average 7-foot athlete who can catch lobs around the rim in the pick and roll. Lakers' Luka Doncic changes stance with fraught decision on future. Insider. Luka Doncic is currently under contract with the Los Angeles Lakers, but the star is eligible to sign a lucrative extension beginning on August 2, 2025. The widespread expectation was that Doncic would sign a 4-year, $223 million contract extension, solidifying the largest amount of guaranteed money possible. Former NBA executive John Hollinger reported that Doncic is now expected to sign a shorter deal. Doncic's situation is a bit complicated as the superstar is not eligible to sign a Supermax extension after being traded by the Dallas Mavericks. Hollinger labeled Doncic's decision as the NBA's most fraught contract extension discussion. Doncic is eligible to extend his deal on August 2, and he can sign for up to 4 years and $223 million, Hollinger wrote in a July 7 story for The Athletic titled, Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic and more veteran extension situations to watch. However, it seems vastly more likely he will take a shorter deal that would make him eligible for 35% of the cap once he achieves 10-year veteran status in the summer of 2028. Contractually, Doncic is a rarity, a superstar who was traded before his second contract ended. That makes him ineligible for the Supermax deal that most players of his ilk can sign at the end of their second contract. The Lakers face a complicated offseason with the uncertain futures of LeBron James and Luka Doncic. Lakers fans need not fret as Doncic is still on a 5-year, $215 million contract that is slated to run through the 2026-27 season. There is a caveat as Doncic has a player option for the final season of his deal, which would allow the star to become a free agent as soon as 2026. Doncic signing a shorter deal combined with the uncertainty surrounding LeBron James' future adds unexpected angst in Los Angeles, a city that has been buzzing since the shocking trade with the Mavericks back in February. Doncic could make the Lakers sweat out the season before extending his deal, Hollinger added. He could also opt out and try someplace else next summer on his 2-year wait for 2028, and it will cost him mere pennies relative to the rest of his deal, only about $1.5 million, something he might easily make up in state taxes if he left California. So, yes, LA is probably the best situation for Doncic, but you can understand why the Lakers might be a little nervous until he puts pen to paper. And for Doncic, he needn't be in a big hurry. He can extend any time between August 2nd and next June. The Lakers appear to be prioritizing building around Luka Doncic over LeBron James. Regardless of Doncic's decision on the length of his next deal, there is a bit of a changing of the guard happening in Los Angeles. The Lakers are clearly prioritizing building around Doncic over James. One example of this is the addition of DeAndre Ayton, who shares the same agent as Doncic. Luka Doncic and DeAndre Ayton were motivated to team up given the Lakers' well-chronicled need for a frontline center, fire. Ayton ultimately decided the Lakers were the best basketball fit and allowed him the opportunity to join forces with Luka Doncic, who's the same age and considered the best playmaker in the NBA in Ayton's eyes, Hoops Hype's Michael Scotto wrote in a July 4 story titled, NBA Intel, Jonas Valanciunas, DeAndre Ayton, Free Agency. Following success playing with guards such as Chris Paul and Ricky Rubio in Phoenix, Ayton hopes to recreate that playmaking chemistry with Doncic. Lakers receive unfortunate news on trading for former number 1 overall pick. The Los Angeles Lakers have hit a snag in their pursuit of Miami Heat forward Andrew Wiggins, a former number 1 overall pick in the 2014 NBA draft. According to Lakers insider Jovan Buha, the trade appears increasingly unrealistic due to the Heat's steep asking price. Buha earlier reported that the Heat are seeking a package consisting of Dalton Knecht, Rui Hachimura, and a first-round draft pick, a demand that seems excessive given Wiggins' current value. Despite the Lakers' willingness to include Knecht and a future first-round pick in a previous deal for Mark Williams, Rob Pelinka and the Lakers front office may be reluctant to part with such valuable assets for a player who they aren't that high on. With LeBron James turning 41 and entering his final contract year, the Lakers are also focused on building around Luka Doncic for the future and avoiding the NBA's rigid salary cap constraints. Wiggins, who achieved an NBA championship and All-Star appearance in 2022 during his tenure with the Golden State Warriors, could theoretically complement James and Doncic given both superstars' tremendous ability to space the floor and make the right reads. After losing 3-and-D specialist Dorian Finney-Smith this offseason, the Lakers have a massive void to fill in terms of perimeter defense, an area where Wiggins proceeds to excel at. However, the Heat's recent acquisition of Norman Powell might make Wiggins more expendable, potentially lowering the price. Still, all indications suggest Wiggins is unlikely to join the Lakers this offseason, leaving the team to explore other options to bolster their wing position. Lakers eye veteran guard as trade chatter heats up across NBA. The NBA offseason is heating up again, and things are moving fast. Chris Paul's name is once again making waves after reports suggested he's considering a return to Phoenix. But the domino effect from that situation could shape the rest of the league's guard market, and the Lakers might be right in the middle of it. Lakers 84. Paul, now 40, is reportedly eyeing a reunion with the Suns or a possible return to the Clippers, two teams close to his family in Los Angeles. That alone could reshape the market, especially with Bradley Beal also nearing a buyout from Phoenix. Where Beal lands could determine Paul's next move, which in turn could affect where other available guards go. One of those guards? Malcolm Brogdon. Lakers linked to Brogdon amid Wizards trade talks. According to a report from Jake Fisher, the Washington Wizards are open to working out a sign-and-trade involving Brogdon, and the Lakers are among the teams showing interest. Brogdon may not be a flashy name, but he brings a reliable offensive game and veteran experience to the table. The Wizards are in full rebuild mode and see Brogdon as a trade chip. Several teams have reportedly reached out, including the Clippers, Suns, Warriors, Timberwolves, Pelicans, Kings, and Bucks, but the Lakers are one of the more intriguing fits. If they miss out on Paul, Brogdon could be a solid backup plan, especially with his ability to run the offense and contribute on both ends of the floor. Still, there's risk involved. Brogdon has struggled to stay on the court in recent years. He's played just 63 games over the last 2 seasons, a big drop after winning 6th Man of the Year in Boston 2 years ago. Outside of that one healthy year with the Celtics, he hasn't played more than 60 games since his 2018-19 season with the Bucks. If healthy, Brogdon could give the Lakers much-needed depth in the backcourt alongside D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves. The question is whether the Lakers want to take that gamble or look elsewhere. Meanwhile, the Wizards would likely want picks or young players in return, something the Lakers have to weigh carefully. As for Paul, a return to Phoenix would likely end any potential reunion with the Lakers. But if he goes elsewhere, or delays his decision, the Lakers could get more aggressive in talks with Washington. The whole situation is fluid, and it could come down to who makes a move first. One thing is clear, the Lakers are actively exploring their options. Whether it's Paul, Brogdon, or someone else, expect them to stay involved in the conversation until their backcourt is settled. The NBA offseason may just be getting started, but the Lakers are already in the thick of it. Lakers blockbuster trade idea swaps LeBron James for $200 million East All-Star. The LeBron James era in LA may not be over just yet, but it's clear the Los Angeles Lakers are no longer his team. It took 23 seasons, officially an NBA record when James takes the floor for the first time in 2025-26, but the 4-time MVP has finally lost the supreme form of leverage he has held every year with every franchise for which he has played, the threat of leaving the following summer if the front office doesn't exhaust its resources to improve the roster toward immediate contention. James will turn 41 years old in December, which is part of it, though he remains a perennial All-Star and All-NBA selection, earning second-team honors last season. The bigger factor, though, was the Lakers' trade for Luka Doncic back in February. Doncic, 26, is already a 5-time first-team All-NBA player and one of the best 5 or 6 players in the league, at worst, when healthy. He is just entering his prime years now, and the Lakers are looking harder at the 2026 and 2027 offseasons, when they will have more salary cap space freedom and more personnel optionality, to construct a roster suited to Doncic's needs and desires. Competing in the Western Conference will be a bear of a task regardless, but centering a squad around a player like Doncic should give LA a legitimate chance to contend against and/or defeat the top teams in a young and powerful West that boasts several franchises prepared for long runs near the top of the league. With all of that as context, James may push for a trade out of LA this summer. Going to the Eastern Conference makes the most sense for both James and the Lakers, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are an obvious landing spot for several reasons. Darius Garland among most likely trade candidates on Cavaliers roster. First, the Cavs drafted James number 1 overall 22 years ago. He is from the surrounding area and led the franchise to the sole championship in its history in 2016. Cleveland also has 4 recent All-Stars on its roster, all of whom are young and talented but aren't the perfect fit together based on redundant skill sets. The foursome won the East during the regular season in 2024-25, but still left the playoffs after a 5-game defeat in the second round, the exact same exit point as last season. One of the players the Cavaliers are more likely to part with is point guard Darius Garland, who was an All-Star last season on the strength of 20.6 points, 6.7 assists, 2.9 rebounds and 1.2 steals per game. He is playing on a 5-year deal worth $197 million that runs through 2027-28, when he will be just 28 years old. Garland's salary this season, $39.5 million, isn't an exact match with James after the latter exercised the $52.6 million option on the final year of his contract. As such, the Cavaliers would need to add another player into the deal to make the salaries work. LeBron James can help Cavaliers compete for title next season, relieve financial concerns in coming years. There are several paths the teams could take, including the Cavs adding DeAndre Hunter and his $23 million salary to the mix and the Lakers matching with Jared Vanderbilt, Maxi Kleber, or Gabe Vincent, and that's just one permutation. The point is that the money can work on both sides and the deal makes sense for various reasons. Garland is an on-ball guard who is weak on defense, which is exactly the same strength/weakness profile of his backcourt partner Donovan Mitchell, whom the Cavaliers are unlikely to trade. But Garland can work alongside Doncic, another weaker defender who needs the basketball, if the Lakers staggered their minutes. The addition of Hunter would add at least a little perimeter defense, while Los Angeles is certain to hunt for a rim-protecting upgrade at center over DeAndre Ayton, currently a placeholder in that regard on a 2-year contract. Meanwhile, James can offer the Cavaliers a better playmaker than they currently have and more size and defense on the perimeter. He wants to win another title, and the Cavaliers are positioned well in an Eastern Conference with several top teams ravaged by injury and looking at gap seasons in 2025-26. James profiles as potentially a 1-year play in Cleveland, but that could be worth it for 2 reasons. First, he might put the Cavaliers over the top in a winnable East based on his specific skill set. 2. The Cavaliers are looking at crossing into the second apron this season, so getting off Garland's money would mean significant financial savings in the years ahead as Garland's salary increases. It could also potentially loosen the league-imposed handcuffs on roster building during the coming year.